Hello everybody, and welcome back to Inside the Cougar Den. Our first guest today is Hayley Vesek from the bowling team. Hayley, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And the bowling team opened up their season this past weekend in your first collegiate event. What are some of your thoughts on how the team did at the Bud Whitman Memorial?
Coming into the tournament, we were all definitely a little nervous. Talking to the coach, he has told us that he thinks we have a great group of girls this year that really work well together, and he's very excited. Going into the tournament, I think we all worked tremendous together on and off the lanes. We were able to complement each other's styles. Having said that, I think we're going to have a very great season this year.
And how do you think that you did personally at the event?
Personally, I think I could work on my mechanics a little better. Coming into it, I was very nervous, being my first tournament. Overall, I think there's always room for improvement no matter what aspect of your game, so I'm definitely going to be working this week at practice.
And there were 2 days, 2 different styles of bowling with the Bakers play and the traditional play. What are the differences between the two of them?
So essentially our matches, so the first day on Saturday we had a Baker style match. So we face each team for a total of 5 games, and in those games each girl is going to have 2 frames, and there's 5 games of that. So essentially throughout the day each girl is going to bowl 1 full game. That just means that if I were to go first, I would have first frame, and then I would not go again until the 5th frame, and so on and so forth. And then traditional is your traditional game of bowling where each girl has their own game.
And you kind of talked about you went first. Seemed like in the footage you were usually the lead-off person, the first person to go in the traditional. What's the strategy when you start off, and how important is it to get a strike to begin or something?
So I was either first or second this weekend, and normally the first person is where you go off of. The first person is just setting down what to do for the other girls, where to play, what adjustments to make, and it really helps the girls in the anchor position in the 4 and 5 spot.
And practice is great to get you ready, but there's nothing like actually getting to compete. So now getting that experience, what do you want to work on in practice this week?
Definitely spare shooting. There were a lot of easy and makeable spares that were missed. I think overall just trusting my equipment more is definitely key, and just working on those small little keys to the game to really just solidify what we need to do.
All right, well, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The bowling team is off this weekend, but we'll return to action later this month at the Sacred Heart Bowl for the Cure. All right, and we're back, and our next guest is Anthony from the sprint football team. Anthony, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And the sprint football team's coming off another huge victory, this time over Chestnut Hill. What are some of your thoughts on how the team played?
Together, I think we played definitely one of the best games probably we had so far this season. Coming off a big game against Cornell. We had a tough week. We knew we had a tough opponent, team from Philly. They were scrappy. Watched film the whole week. We got done what we had to do. The defense played great, 3 and outs here and there. Offense, it was definitely shaky here and there, but they came together and got a couple touchdowns late in the game, which we very needed.
You talked about the defense, 100 yards total for Chestnut Hill. Last game against Cornell held them to negative 20 rushing yards. What's been working for the defense lately?
We got Coach Kasafi and the other Kasafi, Coach Vinny. We've been watching a lot of film. We correct our mistakes, which we had from last week. Passing, rushing, we all bind together. Tackling, getting to the ball, that's our biggest thing. If we get to the ball, we know we got a lot of ball hawks, a lot of good players on defense. Once we get to the ball, we know we're going to make the play.
And this is already a year for the record books for the program. Most wins in a season, first 3-0 start. How do you guys keep yourselves focused as we try and do more and more to secure the first winning record in program history?
Every week we're 0-0. That's what we say to ourselves. It's a new opponent every week. Film, read our keys, look, got to see what we got to do. We don't really worry about our record. We just worry about our next opponent. Every game's a tough game in this league. No matter what score the other week is, no matter what we do, every week's a tough week. So that's how we really buy in and come together and set the tone.
It's a good mentality. And our next opponent is Alderson Broadus. What are you guys expecting to see from them?
Really, we're just worried about getting the job done. That's really what we got to do. We're going to watch film this week. We're, rest our bodies a little bit, get back to it, correct some of our mistakes, defense and offensive-wise. But we're just ready to get back on the field on Saturday and get ready to go.
And Saturday's game will be another home game. And every time we talk about the home crowds, we have a huge attendance. They're very loud. How does that motivate you and help you going?
I'm not really focused on the crowd. I'm just focused on getting my job done and so are the other players. The crowd does help here and there. Definitely, I hear them in the back of my ear, but I'm definitely locked in, ready to go for the rest of this week, and ready to go on Saturday.
All right, well, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The Cougars host Alderson Broaddus this Saturday at 1 p.m.